Chapter 4: Crisis of Leadership. In the summer of 2017, I witnessed two raging dumpster fires. The first one was burning in an actual dumpster in a deserted back alley of a city in Texas, likely set by some teenage vandals bent on causing mischief. I'm sure the local fire department eventually got around to extinguishing it. The second raging dumpster fire engulfed the $62 billion valuation mega startup Uber, and it smelled way, way worse than any actual dumpster fire. Bro culture. A string of unfortunate and mismanaged events plunged Uber into what seemed like an abyss of unprincipled, exploitative, and shameless actions that threatened to destroy the company's reputation. First, there were allegations that CEO Travis Kalanick and top management ran the company like a fraternity, fostering a bro culture and subsequently ignoring a number of sexual harassment and discrimination complaints from employees. Second, the company was accused of using aggressive and unfair competition strategies, like trying to take out competitors in their marketplaces. Third, the company failed to acknowledge a massive cyber attack that exposed millions of their customers' personal data, a revelation followed by allegations that the company then tried to cover up the scandal. The combination of these events brutalized Uber's reputation and turned off millions of customers. In fact, some frustrated Uber riders and drivers created the hashtag #DeleteUber movement in an attempt to punish the company for its perceived transgressions. The unflattering Delete Uber hashtag circulated wildly across social media and caused grave concern in the Uber executive suite. In June 2017, Uber founder Kalanick announced he was taking a leave of absence. He said he wasn't stepping down as CEO, he was just out of his role for a while. Uber's board then decided to bring in former U.S. Attorney General under President Obama, Eric Holder, to conduct a comprehensive investigation into the company's culture. Holder's findings were stunning. A toxic culture and rampant bad behavior in the company emanated from the top down. Unfair treatment of employees, sexual harassment, and discrimination were found to be not only pervasive, but actually encouraged and even rewarded in some cases. Critics accused Kalanick of creating a bro culture in the executive suite and then driving it down through the rest of the organization. Shortly after the Holder findings, Kalanick, a Silicon Valley darling and multi-billionaire founder of one of the most successful startups in the world, stepped down as CEO. Former Microsoft executive Dara Khosrowshahi took over as CEO and was immediately tasked with restoring the company's reputation and trust with customers. Crisis of leadership. Founder-led startups tend to take on the culture of their leaders. When a company has a bigger-than-life founder and CEO who behaves in a certain way, it doesn't matter what the brand promotes in its marketing materials or its advertising, because the CEO is setting the tone and the direction of the organization. On the positive side, founder-led cultures can be very strong because they're driven by the passion and the vision of the founder, and that can inspire employees. Employees tend to rally around a charismatic founder, but the downside risk is that a founder CEO can lead a company into a toxic culture. That founder is often seen by the employees as the ultimate embodiment of the company's brand in human form. As the founder CEO goes, so goes the company. In Uber's case, a crisis of leadership at the top took the company down the wrong path. I know many people listening to this book are either founders and CEOs or you aspire to be. Whether you are the CEO or will be one day, beware. Heed the warnings in this chapter. Your passion, your energy, and your love for the company as a founder are part and parcel to your brand. That's a great thing. But if you screw up, if you behave badly, if you behave in a way that betrays your brand promise, you really can bring down the whole company. Uber is a cautionary tale. Years after their raging dumpster fire, the company under CEO Khosrowshahi is still trying to repair the brand and reestablish the brand promise and rebuild customer trust. When CEOs go wild. As I wrote in a 2018 article for thedrum.com about chief executives going wild, our history books are full of stories of powerful, tyrannical leaders taking advantage of their subjects. The past few years have revealed corporate execs engaging in insider trading, expressing unpopular and controversial beliefs, committing every variety of fraud, and being outright bigots and assholes. More recently, we've seen what seems like an endless parade of corporate leaders sexually discriminating against and harassing people in their workplaces or being complicit when other employees have done so. I'm fairly certain that none of these are new phenomena. But what is new is the speed at which these bad behaviors travel and gain public notoriety. When a CEO behaves badly, even in private, the world will soon find out. Say bye to Papa. In late 2017, Papa John's CEO John Schnatter blamed the NFL player protests during the national anthem for declining sales at Papa John's. To make matters worse, much worse, a few months later, Schnatter admitted to using a racial slur during a conference call. Critics and civil rights groups called Schnatter a bigot and a racist. The criticism that ensued engulfed the company and had a material effect on its financial performance. Sales plunged by double digits, and the stock plummeted to a 5-year low. Many of the operators of Papa John's locations feared they could lose their stores. Schnatter resigned as CEO. When brands put their corporate leaders on display as the face of their brand, they're at especially high risk for a branding disaster. Often these disasters are due to a crisis of leadership. Papa John's built its success on the story of John Schnatter, the everyday guy who started making pizzas by hand, bootstrapped the company expansion, and grew it into a massive organization. Schnatter's first name is part of the name of the company. He literally is Papa John. His picture is on the wall in every store. He is featured in every commercial. He is the company spokesperson, and he's the living logo of the brand. Schnatter reacted to the racial epithet controversy in precisely the wrong way. He didn't take responsibility until it was too late. He blamed other people. He got into a very public disagreement with the leadership of his own company. He adopted the attitude that the brand doesn't exist without him, all around awful behavior that tarnished Papa John's. Trouble at CBS. Les Moonves' name wasn't tied to his company the way John Schnatter's was, but as CEO of CBS, he was a highly visible leader. He's another example of when the leader at the top acts in a way that isn't in accordance with what the expectations are for the brand, how it can put a black mark on the entire company. Moonves was a vocal advocate of the Me Too movement. He is a founding member of an organization called the Commission on Sexual Harassment and Advancing Equality in the Workplace. But in July 2018, 6 women accused Moonves of sexual harassment, intimidation, and abuse. The CBS board investigated. Then, The New Yorker reported that 6 additional women had come forward with allegations dating back decades. There was even an unsubstantiated allegation that CBS had a woman on staff for the sole purpose of providing oral sex to Mr. Moonves upon demand. Wow. I can't even get my mind around how sick and twisted that is. CBS? Really? I really hope that is not true. Moonves resigned as CEO on September 9, 2018. Due to the allegations, his alma mater, Bucknell University, removed Moonves from its website, as did the University of Southern California. Moonves denied the allegations. In a statement to Variety, he wrote, "Untrue allegations from decades ago are now being made against me that are not consistent with who I am." The Moonves scandal is particularly poignant because he was the head of an entertainment company that piped its product into the living rooms of almost every home in America. Moonves had a hand in some of the top television programming ever created. The Big Bang Theory, NCIS, Survivor, 60 Minutes, CSI, Everybody Loves Raymond. It didn't compute to consumers that the guy who brought us such family-oriented programming could be the same person who allegedly sexually harassed and abused so many women. This is the part that leaves most people so disappointed. His real, authentic, behind-the-scenes behavior didn't match what we thought was his public persona, his brand, which was all about bringing families together in the living room to watch TV. After the allegations broke and Moonves resigned, I'm sure many people looked at CBS programming in a whole new light. It reminds me of when I was a kid at Disney World and all the lights came on inside Space Mountain. I could see all the wires, concrete, and rusty metal. It ruined the fun by revealing the sad reality behind the magic. Innocence lost. Later, Lauer. The egregious allegations against NBC's Matt Lauer invoked a similar feeling in me. Lauer was like America's dad. Millions of viewers began their day watching Lauer and his crew yuck it up on NBC's Today Show. Lauer would laugh and smile, spewing happy talk all over Rockefeller Center. He seemed like a cool, nice, pleasant person you'd want to be around. He was the human embodiment of the NBC brand. I was crushed when a lengthy list of allegations publicly accused Lauer of sexual misconduct. I felt duped. If the allegations were true, if he really whipped out his penis in front of a frightened female staffer, this man who seemed so nice was in reality a perverted creep, or at best, or worse, a sexual predator. It seemed Lauer was not the man I thought he was, and it brought everything into question for me. My emotional relationship with the Today Show brand, and to a lesser extent NBC, came tumbling down. I felt dirty for watching him all those years. I switched to another network for my morning TV. When the face of an organization is caught behaving badly, it brings the culture of the entire organization into question. One might legitimately wonder if the top dog behaves like a literal dog, has he enabled or emboldened other company leaders and managers to act in a similar manner? Is he complicit in that behavior? I think it's a fair question. Mario's meltdown. Mario Batali is a chef, restaurateur, cookbook author, entrepreneur, and television personality. He owns or co-owns restaurants around the country, including the popular Italy market-style restaurants. In 2017, 4 women accused Batali of sexual misconduct and harassment. Within days, 4 more women came forward. The New York Police Department began an investigation. Batali admitted he acted inappropriately, but denied an allegation of sexual assault. In a statement, he said, "My past behavior has been deeply inappropriate, and I am sincerely remorseful for my actions." Hey, I'll give him some credit. At least he apologized. An apology wasn't enough. Batali took a leave of absence from his company. Executives at ABC Television Network asked him to stop appearing on the daily TV show The Chew. They fired him a few days later. Food Network canceled his upcoming show titled Molto Mario. Target stores pulled Batali's products from store shelves, including pasta sauces and cookbooks. Then Batali's company announced it would be closing its 3 restaurants on the Las Vegas Strip because the Las Vegas Sands Corporation decided to end their relationship with Batali. Batali's company likely lost millions of dollars due to his alleged behavior. Beware the face of the brand. There are many benefits to founder-led organizations like Mario Batali's company. The drive and inspiration of the founder can catapult the company to tremendous success, but you must also accept the downside. Corporations put themselves at an accelerated level of risk when they have a single human being as the face of their brand. Because when customers see that person behaving in a way that is inconsistent with their ideal of the brand, it brings their entire relationship with the brand into question. A company leader's public face and image must match the values of the company. When a famous CEO or founder slips up in a public way, not only do they suffer, but the brand suffers as well. As the cases of Uber, Papa John's, Les Moonves, and Mario Batali show us, you can't promote your brand's values and then have them contradicted by the words or actions of the CEO. Pitchman no more. A single non-founder, non-CEO who's the face of a brand also creates high risk. Consider Subway restaurants. They went all in on their national spokesperson and pitchman, Jared Fogle. He wasn't the CEO, but he certainly was the living logo of the brand. He was the face of Subway and appeared in their advertising campaigns from 2000 to 2015. Fogle's reign as spokesperson ended when he pleaded guilty to child pornography charges and traveling to pay for sex with minors. He's now serving a 15-year sentence in federal prison. I don't think Subway has ever recovered from this. Branding is everyone's job. Don't make a single human being the logo of your brand. Doing so can jeopardize your entire company. You cannot predict or manage human behavior, especially humans in powerful positions. Brands must be vigilant that their top executives and pitchmen are fully aligned with the brand promise through and through. It's the best defense against a failure of leadership. Branding is everyone's job. The leader of the organization needs to head up the effort and buy into the brand values fully, whether that person is the public face of the brand or not, and drive the brand values through that organization. Part of a CEO's job is to deliver the brand experience in 360 degrees at every level of the company. The head of the organization bears a huge responsibility for living the brand's values. When a leader publicly and spectacularly fails to live up to those values, today more than ever, it becomes front page news across the country. CEOs must lead by example. Additionally, the CEO must demand that every single person in the organization is going to be hired, fired, incentivized, measured, compensated, rewarded, and encouraged based on how they uphold the values of the organization and deliver on the promise of the brand. But leaders can't authentically demand that employees do that unless they are also prepared to do it themselves. Otherwise, it's just bullshit, and people can tell it's bullshit.